Hey, what's up, guys? I wanted to make a video about Dark and Darker on how to start off on each class. I'm literally I just had this idea. It's literally 3:30. I can't sleep, so. um, anyways, so basically, I just wanted to give a brief little tips, tricks, like how to start off on each class. I have 8 characters, but the only one I don't have because there's not enough slots is sorc. I'll explain it a little at the end, but for now, let's just, get right in there. I mainly play Ranger at least this season, but I've played every class and I've played it for at least 10 hours. I am kind of like a humble player, 1400 hours. I haven't really, there's a lot of streamers who have played like 4 or 5K, even more hours. But I've played since the first beta, so I know a lot about the game. Anyways, cleric. First thing, cleric is like a support. Right now cleric is just insane. Cleric can be crazy support, which is what it's meant for. It could be really high damaging, especially with spells, for example, earthquake, locust swarm. Right now locust swarm does a lot of damage. As of patch 78-2 78-2. So yeah, we got yeah locust swarm, and then another damaging spell is holy strike. Holy strike is good too. I hate this, but when it hits you, it does pretty good damage, but it also makes your screen white and you can't see shit. It's really fucking annoying. Anyways, what I would suggest running first, if you're just starting out as cleric, simple spells, simple stuff. So lesser can heal you. It can heal anybody. But it's the only one. Like holy light, for example, it's a bigger heal, a lot more healing, but it'll only it only targets allies and other people. You can't use it on yourself. But with lesser, you can. You get 4 lessers, 3 holy lights, and the next one I would recommend is sanctuary. Sanctuary is like a big range of healing. It takes multiple times. There's a lot of healing. You only get 2 of those, but everybody in the range gets healing, even if it's an enemy team. Next thing I'd recommend is holy strike. That's a little bit of damage just in case. You could do that, or if you really want locust swarm, um, Locust Swarm is really good right now, especially if you know how to use it. But for now, just starting off, I would suggest just Holy Strike. And then last but not least, Protection. It just puts a little bubble around you, tanks some damage. And fun fact, if you have a protection bubble around you, you can't take a headshot. So pretty nice. And so I would run spells, and then for your skill, you could either run 2 spells, which is hard. So I would recommend if you're starting off, just do Smite. You pop Smite, and it'll go on your weapon, and it'll just excuse me, it'll just it just does a bunch of damage. And funny thing you can do with this, once you need to hit level 15 for all 4 perks here. Once you have all 4, I would definitely recommend putting faithfulness. What this does, it does more damage, and they get slowed if you hit them with divine magic. For divine magic is for example, it's smite or judgment. Um, and those, if you pair faithfulness with smite or judgment, or even something like this, a little bit of both, it's an insane combo. I think that briefly describes cleric. Let's move on to the next ranger. This is what I played mainly this season. A lot of ranger. Ranger's pretty simple. You get a bow, and once you level up, you can get a spear. Spear, you have to use a perk though to use it. So first thing I would put on is probably either kinesthesia or sharpshooter. Sharpshooter just does more headshot, more damage. Why not? Obviously, you want that. And then spear proficiency is really good. I mean, spear on ranger is insane. Best perk, or best skill, in my opinion, backstep. It lets you back up a little bit and dodge. It's really nice. It's good for PVE. It's good for PvP. It's good for movement. It's good for anything. And so in solos, you should run chase. Chase is good, so you can see a lot. For example, an invis rogue. Um, so chase is really good, especially in solos. And then yeah, sharpshooter can. This is what I run. A lot of the time, you could switch it out for quick reload. I like quick reload. Quick reload is good. But ranged weapons, you don't want that most of the time. You don't want this most of the time. You don't want this. This you want if you're using a crossbow. Crossbow build is actually kind of a meta right now. Double crossbow, like regular crossbow and a windlass, and it's really good. If you're gonna use, a regular longbow, I would suggest quick fire, quick shot, or like multi-shot. Fun thing you can do with multi-shot is if you use the skill and then you cancel it, it does pretty much almost a full reload. It's one arrow missing, but almost. But yeah, that's what I would recommend. I would recommend the longbow. There's multiple bows you can use. There's the recurve, survival bow, longbow, the crossbow, which I was just talking about. There's a perk for this too, and then the windlass it's really hard to reload, but it hits really hard. So yeah, that's what I would recommend for ranger. You can do a lot with ranger, but this is what I'm running now, and this is what I've been running in solos. Some okay gear, and it works pretty well. Next is fighter. I actually have a really good kit on my fighter right now. It's a glee fighter. You need weapon mastery for it, but it's a little more like game knowledge. I'm gonna take all this off just for the time being, just to show you what I'll squire my gear, for example. Like I'll put on squire. I would run like you could squire plate, and then something like heavy leathers, light foots, reinforced gloves, these for health, and then probably like a where is it, barbita for dex. And then I personally like using the longsword. I think it's just a more fun way to play fighter other than just like holding up a shield. Though holding up a shield is probably the best way and the easiest. And then I would run also as your secondary. Where is it? Crossbow. Crossbow is really good. 30 armor pen, high base damage is good. Set base gear. Take a ring off. This is what I personally would do if I was starting off with squire. Now first, perk I would run. If you're using a sword mastery is good just to start off because you get more damage, action speed, and move speed when you're in blocking stance with the longsword. And then next, I would put on either defense mastery or swift, depending if you're running plate gear, then you definitely want these two perks. If you're running a lot, if you're running minimum plate gear, then you don't really need it, but I would recommend both of these. And then as the last perk for this is just like easiest fighter. I'm gonna do the same thing for every class. Easiest class, I would do this. And then last one, I would either do weapon mastery, which you can use any weapon. The only problem is you lose a little bit of damage, and that's how. See how these are red? This means I can't use it, but I'm just take this off. Once I put on weapon mastery, not red anymore. You can use anything. And this Demon's Glee Monosphere combo, it hits really hard because what happens is the Glee actually has magic weapon damage, and so that lets you use magic weapon damage. And Monosphere has 2 true, 2 weapon damage, magic pen. It's insane. And then for skills, sprint. If you're running a bunch of plate gear, sprint is OP. You don't necessarily need it if you're not running plate gear, but if you are, you're gonna be slow as shit. So sprint's the way to go, and most of the time, sprint second wind, it'll already be on there for you. Is the best combo. But a lot of people have been using breakthrough lately. It's pretty good, but I personally don't like it. And then another one you can use is like sprint adrenaline rush. This gives you a bunch of action speed and move speed. But then if you read it after the duration ends, you lose action speed and move speed. So it's good. It's still good. So you can do something like this, but I would recommend if you're starting off second wind, which just heals you. You can reset it with the campfire, but it's only one-time use. You have to sit at a camp and let it full recharge. You'll see. But yeah, that's how I would recommend fighter. Next class, we have wizard. Now wizard is kind of hard. I'll give you that. Fun name. So right now, this is my arena kit. This is what I've been doing in arena, which is actually a really good mode to learn how to play the game and learn how to like fight, not just players, but PvE too. So 10 spell especially is good in arena. And then if you want to go play arena, it's up here. It opens and closes. It might not be active at the time, but yeah, right here. Okay, there's my arena rank. Kind of sucks on this. I don't play much wizard. But yeah, so perks. I would okay, personally, a lot of people don't use Ice Shield, but I really like Ice Shield because it gives you a little bit of like an advantage, not advantage per se, but like like something to help you when there's like a rogue or some melee class on you. It slows their action speed and move speed. So they're gonna have a harder time hitting you faster and catching up to you, which is really nice. I really like having this. It's really useful. A lot of people don't use it just because they want more damage, but personally, I use it every time. Now next, I in arena have been using this combo, Fire Mastery, which you get burned, and then your healing when you have the burn effect is decreased by half, 50%, half. It's insane. And then if you combo that with melt, um, they lose 50% of their healing and then 20% of their damage reduction. So you're just if you hit them with one, for example, a fireball, a zap, or explosion, then it's gonna fuck them. And if you have a teammate, your boys on them, then it's gonna help him too if you can hit that zap. And then last but not least, I believe I use honestly this last perk is really up to you. Um, I think I use quick chant because if you go look at your see, okay, there's one that's 10% knowledge bonus, which knowledge is casting speed, and then there's one that's quick chant, which is also casting speed. So you want to look. I have 40 knowledge. Look at my spell casting speed right here, 60. That's already pretty high, 70%. And then quick chant, 84.7%. And then you take it off and you look at sage, 79.7%. So which one would you run? Obviously, quick chant. Lots of cast speed. I like cast speed. I like move speed. Those are my two main priorities. And then for skills, there's not many on wizard. You can either run 10 spell, which is just this is hard. It's hard to do. I learned it. You can learn it too. Anybody can learn it. Um, Pretty good. But if you're just starting off, I would recommend meditation. Meditation is really nice, just to learn wizard because all you have to do is click the button, you sit down, all your spells recharge. But if you don't have meditation, it takes a hell of a lot longer. You need to place a camp or just sit. It takes fucking forever. So meditation, spell memory 1 or spell memory 2, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's really nice. So let's just put these aside. This over here doesn't count. This is what I would run in solos, and if or oh, you don't have to play solos, but whatever you want to do, I would run this. And if you're lacking a little bit of damage spells, because you have invis and haste down here, and then 3 damage spells, which is going to be a little tough, but you can make it work. I would recommend taking off haste and explosion, putting out explosion. If you're lacking a little damage spells, explosion's pretty easy to hit. It's pretty nice. It's also more fire damage, so triple fire spells here will be really beneficial. Yeah, and if you're running 10 spell, you can use Ice Bolt. A lot of people do use Ice Bolt. I'm not very good with it, so I just put on the side because why use it if I suck with it, right? But yeah, and then there's also one called there's Intense Focus, which literally is just an instacast. You press it, and then it'll be there, and then your next spell will just instacast. It's really nice. That one's not bad either. Arcane Shield is for like melee builds. It's a whole other thing. You'll learn about that. But if you want to just play flat out wizard, this is what I would recommend. All right, and then next one we have Warlock. Now, Warlock is actually really good right now because there's a little thing. Well, you don't really need Soul Collector, but in solos you do. You can't spell per day, but I would recommend to just run this. It's really easy. It's really easy. All you have to do is kill 5 of any like mobs or even players, but mobs. You want to kill like whatever you see, 5, and then you get 5 shards. And these 5 shards, what they do is they give you +1 all attributes. And if you look, all attributes is from strength all the way down to resourcefulness. So it's going to be +5 of all of these stats, which is insane. And not only that, on jewelry, you can get +1 all on your jewelry, and then so totaling, if you get +1 all on all of your jewelry and +5 shards, that's +8 all attributes. Do you know how insane that is? It's absurd. Anyways, next perks. It's a lot of depending on what you want to build. kind of thing. So if you just want to do a caster warlock, which is magic healing caster warlock, it's probably the most played and honestly the most fun in my opinion. The next perk you want to run is, or first perk you would run one is Torture Mastery, which you so how your spells work is each spell will, like, if you read this little number, it'll take that much damage. But once you have Torture Mastery, it'll double it, so it's gonna hurt pretty bad. Once sorry, it's gonna hurt pretty bad once you cast it, but in return you heal. If you need this perk, if you want to heal off of a curse, and the two spells that'll let you heal with this perk is Curse of Pain and Power of Sack. These do, you hit anything. You can spawn your own Hydra here and heal off that. You need to have enough to get an actual like positive trade, but it's pretty easy. And then you cast either of these on anyone, mainly Curse of Pain. Power of Sack you can cast on yourself, and it'll read what it does. It does a little bit of damage, but it increases like strength. You get more health and more health, or sorry, excuse me, more health, more damage, strength. For 12 seconds. So it's not that bad, but you like if you hit someone else with it, it'll double your healing. So you want that. And then Hydra's really good. You spawn him in. He shoots at Inda's rogues. He shoots at whatever's around him. So he's like a little guard dog. He'll let you know. And then Curse of Weakness. If you read what it does, all attributes by 25%, insane. Damage reduction by 15%, insane. Magic damage reduction by 50% for 12 seconds, insane. Pretty good. Curse Weakness is just good overall. Just if you hit him with that, and then hit him with the curse, it'll hurt more. And then if you're running solos, I would recommend Flamewalker. Flamewalker is really nice. It spawns fire at your feet, and it's really nice for keeping people away or clearing any PvE that's really annoying. So that's good. But if you're running like trios, there's something you can do where you don't need this Soul Collector perk, and you can still get the +5 all. Insane, right? All you need to do is use this Spell Predation. What it does, look, each Darkness Shard, you can get a Darkness Shard when you remove a magical buff from an enemy. Or you can do it on your teammates, though. I know it sounds crazy, but for example, if your team has any Bard buffs, or Prot Pots, or like Druid heals, that it's going to take that away and convert it into one of the stacks. Now, all of your stacks will get taken away if you use one of these dark spells. So honestly, just don't equip them, then you'll permanently have +5 all. And then if you use a perk called, where is it? There it is, Dark Reflection. That one. It'll hurt them a fuck ton, but it takes away your stacks, -5 all attributes. You don't want that. So, solo perks, Torture Mastery, Soul Collector, and Vampirism. And for the last one, I like Anti-Magic. You just get a lot of MDR, and that's just really nice. Like, why would you not take that? There's other perks you can use, like Malice is good. I personally like Curse Mastery. It lets your curses last longer, so you're going to heal for longer. And that's what I like to run. And then for skills, spells, and Phantomize is the norm. But Blow of Corruption is really good too. It's just a little harder to use, and it's interesting. And if you don't want to do any spells, you can do Phantomize and Blow of Corruption, and it's a really simple build. All Blow of Corruption does is you pop it. It has like a little timer. The timer will go out, but if the timer goes out, it's gone. Make sure to hit someone before the timer runs out, and it'll do a fuck ton of damage, especially if you're using a weapon like a Crystal Sword, because it already has magic damage on it, so it'll hurt like hell. Whew. I know I'm yapping a lot, but I hope this helps somebody who's trying to learn the game. Next is Barbarian. Barbarian is fucking brain dead. I hate this class. Class sucks. Needs to be nerfed. Please, SDF. Anyways. So, perks. Robust. Keep that. 10% max health bonus. You're just going to be thicker. That's what you want. Barb is a thick tank. And I guess that's what it's meant for, but I think they went a little overkill. Barb is OP. Robust. Next perk you're going to want to take 100% of the time is Iron Will. Iron Will, Robust. Iron Will, Robust. Every time. In my opinion, some people might tell you otherwise, but this is what I would do. And then for the next two perks, it varies. It varies a hell of a lot. So if you're using a weapon like the hatchet, devil axe, which is honestly these are my two favorite weapons in barb, so I'm gonna take axe specialization every time. It just gives you +3 weapon damage every with your axe. So there's a lot of weapons that aren't axes, like the bardiche and the quarterstaff and stuff like that. Don't use the perk if you're using a weapon like that. Um, and then another perk, morale boost. If you're running solos, don't use morale boost. But if you're in like a trio, morale boost is really good. You get a third of your health back if you kill someone. So if you're in a big brawl, big fight, and you get that first kill, you're gonna win the fight, no matter what. So morale boost is really good. Um, but if you don't want to run these two, there's other good perks like potion sugar is really good. It actually feels really nice. You just pop a potion, it heals you more, and it takes way less time. It's actually really nice. I like potion sugar. Crush is another good one. If someone's running away from you, they close the door on you, boom, you hit it with your fucking axe. It's gone, evaporated, and then you kill them. So this is my build for solos would be something like this. Axe, Potion Chugger, Iron Will, Robust. And for my skills, this is pretty default, is Rage Achilles. What Rage does, if you read it, 15 Strength, 15 Fig, 12 Move Speed bonus, so you're fast, you're thick, you hit harder, but you lose 15% damage reduction. So it's a bit of a trade offer, but I think it's a bit more in your favor. You don't really want to use it when you're in like a little brawl because they're gonna 15% damage reduction is a lot. So you want to like be careful with it. But it's good for catching up to people. It gives you move speed. It's good. It's good to have. And same for like Achilles. You're going to be slow on this class. So Achilles is really good. If you use like what these are Francesca axes, you want to like have these as much as you possibly can. If you can't afford to keep buying them, don't. But your squire will give you two every time you reset it, and then just use them as much as you can. If you're using Achilles especially, you want them. Achilles, what it does, you hit somebody with it, it'll do a little bit of damage, especially if they keep moving, but it'll slow them like crazy. The slow is really OP, so if you're right behind someone, but you can barely reach them, throw a little franny at them, hit them with the Achilles, they can't move, you caught up to them. Really good. Now, honestly, every skill right here is worth it to run, except for right now, I would say don't use War Sacrifice and probably not Blood Exchange, though it's still probably usable. A lot of people use Reckless, especially in solos, because you pop it and it's one big attack that really fucking hurts. But you lose 85 armor rating, which is a lot, a fuck ton. So just be careful when you're using this. It'll hurt really bad, but you'll get hurt really bad too if you get hit. And also make sure you don't bonk the wall or the floor or a door because it'll get rid of it and then you lose the fight. And then Savage Roar is actually good for starters. So I honestly would recommend a little something like Rage Savage Roar. What this does is if you hit a player with it, it'll reduce their damage, which is good, but also like PvE, so like skeletons, whatever, if you pop it and they're around you, they'll get scared off. It'll only last a few seconds, but it's really good if you're trapped or stuck in a corner or anything. And then Warcry, just more health. It's pretty simple. So this one's really easy to use too. But Rage, Savage Roar, Warcry are probably 3 easiest skills to use, and they're all good. So Barb is OP. Next class we have here Druid. Druid is complicated. Now I would not recommend Druid to any new player, but I have a blast on it, even though I suck at it, kind of. This is not my Twitch. Old Twitch, updated. It's Babu Mazu, same as my YouTube. But yeah, it's complicated. This one might take the longest to explain. Maybe not. We'll see. Yeah. So Shapeshift Mastery. This one's like a must. Especially like, there's a new perk that you can do Heal Druid, but I'll get into that after I explain like normal Druid. This is a must. Thorn Coat. Okay, well, this is a must. What this does is your shapeshift, which is you get a bear, rat, chicken, panther. Now, what these do, all of them have like different attributes that increase their damage, and that's it. Um, so, for example, bear is strength. There's if you want to pause and read right here, you can. It's a lot, I know. Druid is a lot to take in, but once you get it, you kind of get it. There's a man by the name of Popcorn Nate. He's insane. He's the best druid I've ever watched. He's really good. He won this seriously soapy challenge, the last one they did for like 3K, 3K bucks. He deserved it. He deserved every penny. He's a goat. Um, See him streaming, hop in a stream, follow him right now. He doesn't even know me, but he's the best. I promise you. Um, but Panther is agility. So more agility you have, the more damage you'll do. Same thing for bear. The more strength you have, the more damage you'll do. Chicken and rat are mainly used for movement. Don't try and damage with them at all. Chicken has a double jump, so chicken is actually really useful, and then rat is just really hard to hit. So you transform into a rat, you scurry around. Careful, because you're going to be 1 HP, you're going to be 1 hit, but you're really hard to hit. So yeah, but yeah, shapeshift mastery. You can change into any of the animals instantly. If you don't have this, it's gonna feel really bad. Trust me. So keep this permanently. Next perk, Dreamwalk. It's like a double-edged sword. Dreamwalk can either save your life multiple times a game, or it can completely fuck you. Fuck you hard. But yeah, it's good. It's good. It'll like if you get hit, it's like Warlock Phantomize, but on a perk instead of a skill. It's a little confusing, but yeah, if you get hit with any like anything, honestly, any kind of damage, any form of damage, you go into the spirit form. You can cast spells in the spirit form, but you can't attack and you can't transform. So you got to keep that in mind. And there's also a cooldown. Can't be infinite, obviously. So yeah, Dreamwalk I would recommend, especially for new players. It's actually kind of nice to have. It'll get you out of certain situations. And then for the other two perks, honestly, you switch them up a lot. Sun and Moon is good. You get 3 Vig, which is like 6 HP extra, and then 5 Magic Power, which is whatever. It's not bad. It's not great either, but the 3 Vig is the main thing. Extra health is always good. And then for the last perk, you can run Enhanced Wildness, which when you're in a animal form, you get 5 more move speed, 10 armor rating. Can't go wrong. There's another one, Thorn Coat. It's just thorns. You ever played Minecraft with thorns on the fucking chest plate? That's what that is. And then the other one that I like to run is Natural Healing. It's like it's actually, I think a lot of new players would like Natural Healing. It just literally it heals you up. You don't need to bring meds necessarily. Just know that it's a slow process of healing up. And it scales with magic healing, so just know that it's good. And then skills, not much to choose from. But if you want to go full pocket druid, I would run something like this is the new perk they added, Life Boot Mora. You read it, it's just more healing. That's all it is. And then you want natural healing. I've actually never done this, so I think what you want this is tough because oh yeah, probably this one and then probably this. I think if anybody wants to correct me if I'm wrong, feel free. I think this is what you run if you want to run Pocket Druid, and then you put on all the spells. You literally have room for all of them. But if you're not gonna run 10 spell, then let me take these off so I don't forget. Yeah, if you're not gonna run 10 spell, the nature of the spells I would recommend is Nature's Touch, which you can hit yourself, allies, anybody with this. It's just a little bit of healing. But something cool with this is there's another spell called Dreamfire. It's like Cleric Holy Strike, except a lot less damage and a lot less good for damage wise. But something it does is if somebody has this Nature's Touch, including yourself, if you hit even like a skeleton, an enemy, anything, if you hit any kind of PvE or PvP, it'll heal you. You have to have Nature's Touch buff active, but it'll heal you more, so it's nice. It's a little hard to like comprehend, but you'll get it. And then Restore is just an area heal. So your boys grouped up, need some healing, use that shit. Summon Trent. Call him Trent. Call him Groot. It's summon Treant, but everybody calls him Trent or Groot. It's just he's really nice. You can block doorways. You can use him for if you really want PvE, but I wouldn't recommend it. And just use it. Wait to fight somebody, block him off, or spawn him to help you kill him. Um, he's nice to have. And then Mending Grove, another heal, 3 heals. Mending Grove is like a sank, except a little different. It spawns like a little flower field on the ground. If you stand in it, you get uh health and max health bonus. So you actually have more health when you're standing in it. So it's actually nice. And then there's other perks, or sorry, excuse me, spells you can use, but honestly, these are like what most people use. The main thing. I think I covered it all, but that's the main things of Druid. It's a little confusing, so just bear with the process. We have 2 more left, and then I'll try and explain Sorc a little bit. I won't be able to show you, but I'll just um, honestly, I don't think I can explain Sorc. But I'll try right now. Sorc is you can now do 10 spell, which I would recommend, and you can see all the combos. I can't show you, so I apologize, but you can see all the combos in the top left of your screen when you're on the spell page. It'll show you the combos, which is when you put 2 spells together and make a better spell. It's a little confusing, but the perks, there's one that lets you cast like instantly, but your spells come back way slower. So keep that in mind. A stat that makes your spells come back faster. You want resourcefulness and you want will on Sorc. So resourcefulness, what it does is it'll make your spells, like the cooldown on them, way faster, so you can keep casting. So you want a lot of resourcefulness, and then will is just magic damage. So you want that. And then you want that perk. There's one that gives you move speed. Um, and honestly, I don't remember the other ones. I only played it when it came out, so I don't know too much. Don't listen to me too much. I would suggest looking up a Sorc video specifically if you're gonna try that. But I wouldn't even recommend it for new players. It's a hard class. Anyways, let's get into Bard. Bard is actually one of my favorite classes. Um, it's fun. It's like you're playing another game. It's like whenever you play your instruments, you have this little bar on the bottom of your screen. You gotta click. You gotta click right click, I believe, and then time it, and then your performance will depend on how good the song buffs you. So getting like off of that, charismatic performance is what it does. Is it gives you upgrades a good performance into a perfect performance, and what you want is only perfect. You want to play perfect performances every time, just for the better buffs. Better buffs equals you're gonna win. So this is a must. Always run this. It's way easier. If you mess up, you don't mess up, kind of thing. And then for the next perk, really depends on the weapon, but most people use Rapier on Bard. Some people use Rondel. So if you're gonna use a Rondel, don't use this. But most people use Rapier. Put this on. 2 weapon damage, action speed. Can't go wrong. And then for the next ones, some people don't use it, but me myself, I like Warsong. Warsong is really good. For example, you play. This is Trick Weakness. I'll get into this after I explain the perks and stuff. Trick Weakness is really good. A must. Always use it. You hit PVE, PvP, anything with it. You'll do way more damage. They do less damage. Like you can't go wrong with that. Anyways, you hit them with that, and then your War Song. What War Song does is once you play a song, you do 3 more weapon damage for 6 seconds. So play that weakness. You hit them with the weakness. Start fighting them. They're going to do less damage. You're going to be doing more damage. That's what you want. And then superior decks, just when you are switching between your instruments, which you're going to need all 4, most likely, it just makes it a lot smoother, a lot easier to just like play your next song. There's a lot of other perks, like Jolly Time is good for solos. If you have AO, it'll heal you. And then Dancing Feet isn't bad. It's not the best, but and then yeah, that's what I recommend. Wanderer's Luck is actually fun. You just get more luck, so you can do a full big luck set on Bard. It's really fun. And most people use 10 music slots. But the only one that I would recommend if you're not going to do 10 songs is Dissonance, which what it does, it's like a silence, which makes it so that if you activate this near somebody, they can't use either of their skills. So it's nice. All right, so next we're gonna talk about the songs that you want. Um, so I'm gonna list the must need songs if you're running trios. Yeah, if you're running trios or duos, the must need songs. So Rousing Rhythms and Shriek are the two ones you're gonna take in every mode, no matter what. These are the best. Shriek just weakens everybody. It makes you do more damage. It's good. Rising Rhythms, if you play it, +2 all attributes, and if you play it right, it's for 120 seconds. So 2 minutes of all attributes. You keep playing it. It's no big deal. It's really easy. And then this one, Beats of Alacrity. What it does is it's a self buff. Doesn't do your teammates, but you just get more move speed, and move speed is key in this game. So that's what you want. And then Harmonic Shield, more armor rating, more magic resistance. Take this as much as you can. If you can't fit it, it's like okay, but take this. I promise you, you need it. And then Ballad of Courage, it's another self buff. You just do more damage. 10 physical power for 240 seconds. That's insane. I think Ballad of Courage is really good. I take it every time. And then Accelerando and Allegro. With this one you play it, it gives you move speed for 8 seconds. And you play this one, it gives you action speed for 8 seconds. So these are really good to play right before you get into a fight. And then lastly, I have Lament. You need this one first. Aria of Alacrity, if the loot songs. Aria of Alacrity just gives you action speed, really good. Another self buff, you want it. Lament, this is a debuff to enemies. What it does is you play it. It has pretty wide range, and it slows them. It slows them by 10, which is significant. It's good to have. I like it. And then a lot of I don't know. A lot of these are good. A lot of songs are good. You should read up on them, see what they do, try them out. Song of Silence is the last one I use. It interrupts skills, spells, and songs. I didn't know it did songs, but skills and spells is the main part. So caster class, for example, wizard or sorc, or warlock. Sorry, you play this in their face. They can't cast for 2 seconds if you play it perfect, and you're all up in there. You also get your war song after this, so you're doing more damage even if you don't have the weakness, and it's really good. I like Song of Silence. I know I'm yapping a lot. This bard is a lot. Last but not least, well, I guess it is least. Rogue, which is probably my most played. Rogue is fun. A lot of people hate Rogue. I understand why. Totally get it. But yeah. So for your perks, I'm gonna take everything off. So just normal Rogue. You're running Rogue. You see rogues. You want to use Invis. You want to use your Rupture, or Cutthroat, or Weak Point. Get into that after the perks. But normal Rogue. So you want, if you're using Hide, you want Stealth 100% of the time. What this does is it lets you move 10 steps while crouching or slow walking. Make sure you don't sprint. It'll end your invis. But yeah, it'll let you walk while you're invisible. So a must. Next one I would run is Poison Weapon. Poison Weapon is also a must. Poison Weapon is really good for not only PvP but PvE too. It just stacks. It's more damage. It's magic damage. It's just another type of damage. It's really nice to have. And then Dagger Mastery. Dagger Mastery is what you're going to be doing on Rogue. You're almost always going to be using a dagger. So Dagger Mastery, 15% more damage. Really good. You want this every time. Now, last perk, I switch up a lot, to be honest with you. Some people use Jokester, which is just +2 all attributes. This says give all party members, but they have to be in a range. They have to be next to you. But you'll get it all the time. So Jokester's good, +2 all attributes. You can't go wrong. If you want, a lot more damage, Thrust is good. Like, this is pretty common. It's just 3 damaging ones and then Stealth. It's pretty common. But yeah, there's a lot of, Creep is really good. Creep is when you're crouch walking, you make, no noise at all. It's really nice. But, yeah, Creep is nice. A lot of people use Creep. A lot of people use Thrust. A lot of people use Jokester. Ambush is not even bad, too. And some people like Double Jump, but the only thing is it's hard to build a kit around because you lose 10 move speed, and when you have low move speed on Rogue, it feels kind of dog shit. So this is honestly either this, or this is what I would recommend. And then for skills, invis, hide, 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 hide. You use hide if you're using self. And if you want invis rogue, use hide. There's a lot of other builds you can do, like tank rogue. You don't really need hide, or mosquito rogue. You don't really need it either. Those are a little more difficult. I know repos. He actually makes a good. He's a rogue main. Not obviously he's more known than me, but yeah, he's really good at rogue. He plays mosquito. He's the one who made the build actually, I believe, and so he can really help you if you want to like get more into rogue. But yeah, so you get hide, and then either rupture, cutthroat, or weak point is what I would recommend. All these other perks are a little weird, but weak point is what it does. It's just basically you hit them with weak point, and it reduces armor rating by 40% for 3 seconds. And honestly, I think weak point might be my favorite. It used to be meta, and it still kind of is good. It's not bad, but yeah, I would recommend weak point, but rupture is good too. Rupture is just like an extra poison, pretty much. A little bit more, but it's an extra poison. But it's physical, not magical. And then cutthroat, what it does is it silences people. So just like the dissonance or the song of silence on Bard, except this is for casters and melee. So this disables skills, spells, and whatever you're using. So you hit them with it. They can't use any of their perks or not perks, sorry, skills to like help with that or spells to cast on you. So you have a window of 2 seconds to kill them. That is it's nice. It's nice to have. But yeah, that's what I would recommend for Rogue. A lot of people like Mosquito. Again, Repos has a beautiful video for that. Um, I would go ahead and watch that. Now, if you watch the end, I appreciate this. I know this video is boring, but I really want to help out new players. I know this game is growing. I'm seeing a lot more streamers, so um, yeah, I wanted to make this video. It's literally now it's 4 a.m. I'm tired of shit, but yeah, thanks for watching.